All right, folks. So hopefully you already finished Ponger 1 and you showed it to me and I gave you approval to move on. Let's see here. If that's the case, let's go back into Ponger 1 for a minute and let's save as Ponger 2. I like taking each version and saving it as a new file so that I can always go back to something that was working up to a point. So go ahead and Ponger 2 and save on Ponger 1. So you'll go back and you'll open your Ponger 1. I don't know how to discard that right now, but you'll open Ponger 1, and if you don't know how, call me over, and then you'll go ahead and save it as Ponger 2. And after you do that, let's go in and update the comments so we'll know what we're working on. And Ponger 2 up here, it should say. Okay, then what are we going to do? We want to make some modifications. Remember where we left off. If I hit run, this guy right now has a ball that'll go up and down, and I've got two paddles that I can control. Oh, I didn't make it so that the left paddle has any bounce to it, so let's fix that. It's super easy. We can just copy all this code for the hitting the right paddle and hitting the bottom, and we'll go Control C, and then down here, and then Control V, and then we'll just change all this for the left paddle. So if the ball hits the left paddle, we want the X to change direction for the ball. And then also, if the ball dot top is less than or equal to 0, then we want the ball to bounce down. Again, remember that the Y values for this canvas, the 0 is up at the top and the 400's down at the bottom. So if the top of the ball is less than or equal to 0, which is up here, then we want the ball to bounce down. Let's see how that works. So I'm going to go ahead and let the ball hit the one paddle, and then I'm going to go ahead and get the ball to hit the other paddle, and now it's hit the top. And now the neat thing is if we don't do anything else, we got a little game that could be played. It's kind of boring. It's not, there's a little bit of a bug in there, but that's okay. Anyways, we'll fix it eventually. For now, I just like to point out that you've got a game. You could sit here and play Pong with yourself for a while, or you could invite a friend. The only bummer is it's kind of slow moving. Now, there's an easy way to fix that. If all you want to do is make the ball move faster, you can go up here and just change these numbers. You can go and change this to 5 and this to 5 and then hit run and then see what you can do. I'm not sure if I can do this while you're watching. It might be a little bit too fast for me to do with both hands, but definitely it makes it more interesting and faster. Okay, but what we're going to do, we're going to come at it from another angle. Let's knock it back to 3 so that everyone starts off at a reasonable pace. And one of the things I'd like to do is I'd like to make it so that the speed can change after the ball hits the paddles or the ceiling or the floor enough. So every time it hits something, I want the speed to slightly change. So what'll happen is the game will start off easier and then get more challenging as you go along, like every good video game does. So in order to do that, we're going to do some tricky things. First of all, I'm going to try to do it down here. After the ball hits the paddle, I'm going to say, what if ball.dx, I can't just change ball.dx. I have to check to see if ball.dx is greater than 0. And if it is, then it's a positive number. And if it's a positive number and I want to change it, I'm going to have to add a positive number to it. So I'll add something like 0.5. And then if the ball.dx is less than 0 or a negative number, then I will take ball.dx and I will do minus equals 0.5. So that'll make it so the ball changes when I hit the speed changes in the X direction when I hit the right paddle. Okay, so in that case, by the way, let me think about that. Do I really need, this is interesting. I don't know that I need to check to see if the ball is positive or if the dx is at positive or negative. If the ball's hitting the paddle, then the dx absolutely has to be positive. So I guess I can get rid of this code. Just thought of that. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this stuff. Let's say goodbye. Okay, and I don't need this to be indented. There we go. So all I need to do is this, and that's all you need to do. Sorry about that. I was overthinking it. Okay, so, but we do need to do this also if the ball hits the floor. And if the ball hits the floor, it must be going plus equals. Or it must be going in the positive direction. So ball.dy would be plus equals 0.5. Okay, and then if the ball hits the left paddle, it must be going to the left. So it must be going in the negative direction. So ball.dx minus equals 0.5. And finally, if it hits the top and I want it to bounce off, when it hits the top, I will set ball.dy. Let me think about this. I might need to be careful. I might need to make a couple of quick changes. You'll see. I think there's a bug in here. Ball.dy, since the ball is coming down, it's going to be, okay. It makes a difference whether I change the speed of the ball before I change the direction. So I got to think about that. Okay, after I change the direction of the ball, the speed should be going down. So it'll be plus equals 0.5. And so I got to go back and fix these. If the ball hits the left paddle, it's then going to be going to the right. So I will want to add some extra speed in the positive direction. If the ball hits the bottom and bounces off, remember, this here will cause the bounce. So that'll make it go in the up direction, which means I need to do minus equals 0.5 for the ball speed. Remember, all I'm changing right now is the ball speed, not the position of the ball. Here's where the position of the ball is changed. Over here, I'm changing the ball speed. Okay, anyways, if the ball hits the right paddle, then it'll be coming back to the left, so that'll be minus equals 0.5 in speed. And let me check the bottom again. The bottom, if I hit and I want to go up, minus, okay, I think I got it. I'm going to go ahead and hit run, and let's see if this does what I'm hoping for. The goal is to get it so that each time it hits something, it goes a little faster in the X or the Y direction, depending on whatever it hit. I got lucky. It hit the paddle and it did bounce to where I wanted it to. Now, it's going faster and faster, so it's doing exactly what I wanted. In fact, it was a little too fast for me. Okay, so you can play around with it for a bit. Enjoy. One thing that you might say to yourself is you might decide, hey, I don't know that I want it to go up so quickly, okay? Or it's not going up quickly enough. So we're going to make a global change that will allow us to change that in just one place. So I'm going to make a property up here, and I'm going to say ball.speed change, and I'm going to set that equal to, right now it's at 0.5, but later on we could change it to whatever. And I'd like to change this 0.5 and this one and this one and this one to ball.speed change, and then later on I can just change this in one place. Now, if I do that, then, or if I want to do that, I got to change it in 4 places. So I'm going to come up here to the toolbar and click Find, and when I do, I'm going to search for 0.5, and I'm going to replace it with ball.speed, uppercase C, H-A-N-G-E. And then I'm going to do it one by one. Right now you can see the third one's highlighted. So I'm going to hit replace, and then replace, and then replace. I don't want to replace this one. So I think I'm just going to hit the right arrow up here, and that'll bring me to the next one down here, and there I'll hit replace. And now I've got my 4 ball speed change. And there should be no visible change in the code. It should just be that it's working. But now if I want to change the ball speed change, I can do it in one place. And supposedly this should go faster and faster and faster. There we go. I can already see it's going a little bit faster and probably getting too fast for me. There we go. Yeah, it's really zooming. Okay, so anyways, that's it. So that is most of the change that I wanted to implement. Let's see here. I think you and I added the ability to bounce off the left paddle and the top, and now we made it so that there's a progressive speed change. There's lots of other cool things we could do, but we're about 10 minutes into the video, so I think that's pretty good. And you might have to do some troubleshooting because I made some changes throughout the code, so you might need to figure out what's wrong if everything's not working properly. Also, feel free to fool around with these values. What's the starting value for the speed? What's the value that the speed changes by over time? Feel free, have some fun with it. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to be, when you're done, call me over and make sure you're showing me ponger 2 and make sure that this is saved as ponger 2. And I'm hopeful that you have ponger 1 saved separately. In fact, while we're here right now, I'm going to remind you, at this point, if you're done, you could save this as ponger 3, and then we don't have to worry about messing up ponger 2 when we go and add code for ponger 3. So right now would be a pretty good time to save this as ponger 3, hit save, and then if we need to go back and look at ponger 2, we can fix that just by itself without worrying about ponger 3. Okay, that's all I got for now. Make sure that you call me over and show me the code. And of course, if you run into any problems, make sure you call me over and ask questions.